DC just came out with a new movie, and I got a camera and a mic. Let's talk about it. The Suicide Squad is directed by James Gunn, and it's the latest DC Comics movie and the continuation of their DC Extended Universe. There is a whole cast of characters that we're going to get into specifically here in a little bit, but let's just go over what the movie's about. Task Force X, thrown together again by Amanda Waller. They got to go into a foreign country and stop Operation Starfish. That's about as far as the plot I'm going to get into. That's about as much as the trailer gives you. You really should go into this as blind as humanly possible. Let's get into the point of the movie, right? The characters. This movie is absolutely nothing but the characters. And James Gunn, this is what he is good at. Not all of his humor lands with me. Maybe not all of his tone shifts land with me. But what he is really good at is giving you a bunch of ragtag, no real notoriety characters and making you care about them. That's what he did with Guardians, and that's what he did with this movie. My real fear about this movie is it's just going to be another Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just be a reskin of that with a couple of F-bombs, some gore, and call it DC. But no, this is definitely a DC Comics movie. This is definitely like a Suicide Squad, old school, John Ostrander comic book adaptation, and it's absolutely amazing to see. And for the most part, James Gunn knocked it out of the park. So again, talking specifically about the characters, let's get the easy one out of the way. All right, the easiest one out of the way is Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. She was okay in the first Suicide Squad. She was pretty good in Birds of Prey. Didn't really care for those movies too much, but this is her best outing. This is probably Margot Robbie's best outing in a movie, period, aside from like maybe Bombshell. But as Harley Quinn, this is her best outing is the character. She's just amazing. I don't want to give a whole lot away, but she's absolutely amazing to watch on screen. But there is a scene where she's monologuing and something very shocking just happened and is happening. But it's a really great scene because you're able to look at Harley Quinn and be like, oh yeah, well, you are kind of a comic relief, but you're insane. Like she's crazy. She's legitimately insane. And just watching that play out was absolutely hilarious. And it's great. And it just shows how amazing Margot Robbie is. She's one of the only things Warner Brothers has gotten right in the past decade. And I really hope they keep her around. I hope they continue to make Harley Quinn movies with her in it, because I think she really is just an amazingly cast character. Idris Elba as Bloodsport. It's really easy to look at this and think, oh, it's just a Will Smith recast, basically Deadshot. And there's an argument there, but I think Idris Elba does a really great job as the character. He is a different character than Deadshot, even though he does have a daughter as well. That relationship is completely different. That dynamic is completely different. And he's a lot more practical, I think, than Deadshot is. I think Deadshot's a better marksman. I think Deadshot is a better assassin, more of a threat. But Bloodsport is a lot more of a leader, and he's a lot more practical. He's a lot more pragmatic than Deadshot is. So it was really great watching him. It was also great watching John Cena as Pacemaker. Didn't think I'd say that, considering how bad John Cena was in Fast and Furious 9. But watching Peacemaker on screen, watching him play off of Bloodsport was an absolute treasure. They have a lot of really great scenes together, and he's honestly one of the best characters in the movie. He's absolutely hilarious. John Cena really threw himself into this movie, but he's also a very dark character, and he's a very John Walker, Homelander type character. And you think by now we're kind of getting, oversaturated with that, but John Cena does something different, and he makes it his own. And I honestly cannot wait for the Peacemaker show now. I have my ideas for how that could go. I'm not going to go into it because of spoilers for the movie, but there's a decision that John Cena makes in this movie that Peacemaker makes, and it makes him super unlikable, but he's still great to watch, and I cannot wait to see what his movie is going to be looking like. Joel Kinnaman is back as Colonel Rick Flagg. In the first movie, I didn't like him. I thought he was a worthless character, not very well written, doesn't have a whole lot to do. Just keeps getting captured by the villains a lot. But in this movie, like from the first 5 seconds he's on screen, you already know this is a different character. This is a much more well-written character, and it's just awesome to watch him play out the role on screen. He's not necessarily the leader in this movie, but watching him have the arc that he has, it's absolutely great. Joel Kinnaman did an amazing job as Colonel Rick Flagg. Not a lot to say about this character, but I do want to bring it up. King Shark's in the movie. He's hilarious. He serves his role. He's a funny comic relief, brute character. James Gunn, again, does bring him some depth, which is absolutely surprising and very, very welcome. But yeah, I think they did an amazing job with this character, and he's just cool to watch. The last two characters I want to talk about is Daniella Melancho. I probably butchered that, and I'm sorry. As Ratcatcher 2, and David Datsmelekian. I butcher his name every time too, but as Polka Dot Man. So Ratcatcher 2 is in this movie, surprisingly, and she's the heart of this movie. She really is. She has a really great backstory that I'm not going to give away, and she has a lot of really great moments with King Shark, with Bloodsport, and she has one very intense moment with Peacemaker. And she's just amazing to watch on screen. I really hope that she continues to be in the DCEU, because these are the kind of characters that we need. Alongside the Batmans and the Supermans and the Wonder Womans, we need Ratcatcher 2. I never thought I'd say that, but we need Ratcatcher 2 because she's awesome. Last but not least, Polka Dot Man. The Polka Dot Man's in this movie. Never thought I'd say that before saying the Green Lantern movie came out, But Polka Dot Man, and he is fantastic. He steals every scene that he's in. He is much more than I wouldn't even call him a comic relief. He's a sobering reminder of this movie. And he's amazing. His superpower, he throws polka dots in it. It's so badass, and it's so crucial. And I absolutely loved him. I want to have a spinoff for him. I want to see what his movie could be like, or having him in more movies could be like. And like what other DC heroes he's ran into, because he's just a lot of fun to watch in this movie. Never thought I'd say that. But last but not least is Viola Davis as Amanda Waller. And in every Suicide Squad story, whether it's the movies or the comic books or the animated movies, sure, they're going against the government. They're going up against some sort of alien thing. They're going up against a DC superhero, another DC villain. No matter what they're going up against, the villain is Amanda Waller. Don't get it twisted. The villain is always Amanda Waller. She's the one pulling the strings. She's the one moving these people against their will. She is the force to be reckoned with, and she is ruthless. She is cunning. She's a bitch in this movie. She's a real pain in the ass. And it's awesome watching her play out. I hope Warner Brothers gets their Batman universe together so we can watch Affleck go against Amanda Waller, because Viola Davis is absolutely amazing as this villain. Look, overall, the Suicide Squad was a great outing for DC. I don't want every DC movie to be in this style and this tone, but I really think James Gunn is well suited for DC. I want to see him tackle more projects. I want to see him kind of flesh out the darker side of him, right? Like what he's able to do kind of like earlier in his career. And I'm just really curious to see where all these characters go. Thank you guys as always for watching the podcast and subscribing. Pass it on to your friends. What did you guys think of Suicide Squad? Did you like it? Did you hate it? I really hope you liked it more than the first one, because it's miles ahead. And do you like reviews? I know everyone under the sun does fucking movie reviews, but if you like my opinions, if you like hearing me talk about movies and other stuff like this, let me know and we'll start doing it more periodically. Thank you so much and have a great weekend, guys. Bye.